Hey guys, I'm Kirby. I have a YouTube channel called KirbyMeetsAudio where I build speakers. I try to teach other people how to build speakers, and I do some audio product reviews.
And I'm 123Toyd from 123Toyd, a YouTube channel that you can find that teaches you how to build crossovers, speakers, speaker boxes, and just do all the intricacies that you may not know already. And I also do some pretty cool speaker designs that you can build yourself. So I got started in DIY audio actually the way that most people get started, and that was with car audio. With car audio, it just is an oversimplified version, I think, typically of getting started in that. And my friend Robbie actually really got me into it with some of the higher end speakers. And as I went through college, I couldn't afford to go to college for myself, so I had to take on a job, and that job was working in a home theater department, and I became a home theater manager. And ever since then, I just love designing and building speakers. I found out how much better they could be and that you could make it exactly how you wanted to. So I just started going from there.
Music's always been a big part of my life, from just enjoying music as a child to playing music in bands in like high school and stuff. So I actually started in woodworking. I was building guitars at a local guitar place called Musician's Friend in my hometown, San Luis Obispo. And while there, I learned, how to build cabinets, stuff like that. So I was actually in the market to get my own speaker, a Bluetooth speaker. Actually, it wasn't even Bluetooth. It was that long ago. It was just like an iPod speaker. And the things that were out at that time didn't really fit my aesthetic style. So I looked into just making my own. And so I did the research and realized that it was not too difficult and I could probably do it myself. So I built one. That actually turned into a business of building them for my friends and eventually online, and that turned into the YouTube channel.
It's actually a very easy question for me to answer. I noticed that there was a problem. Most of these people wanted to learn how to build a speaker, and what you would do is you go to a forum and what you would hear is, well, just build an already built system. Like, no one wanted to take the time to explain like how to build it, what are the intricacies that go into it. And I didn't think that was good enough. For me, I wanted to make sure that anyone that wanted to get into this, that they had the knowledge to be able to do that. And so what I try to do is I try to break it down in an easy to understand way so that you can go and watch a video. Especially me, I'm a visual learner. I love to see things visually. So with YouTube, it's a perfect medium, right? So you can learn visually. If you're an auditory learner, you can still learn auditory, right? Just shut off the video if you want to and listen to me. But then you can learn everything, and it's all in one easy to go place.
I think my answer is like pretty similar. I think just video is the best place to show someone how to physically make something. Obviously, podcasting is the best for getting ideas out, and in person is the best just overall. But for physical things, video is just the best way to do it.
What I found out was that the knowledge that I have, which probably isn't even the same as some of you guys have, you guys even have more years of experience than I even have. And what I realized that even with my experience, it was a lot more than other people had. So I think a lot of speaker builders, it would be a really cool thing to do is to get onto YouTube and explain your expertise. I mean, think about how many years you have that you've been doing this. For me, that's where I'm getting into it, is to hopefully share my expertise and help the field grow and get bigger.
I think, I've always had a lust for Macintosh. Never heard one. I would love to hear one. I would love to compare it to a less expensive amp and see if that price jump is actually worth it.
Sure.
Other than that, I mean, being a DIY audio guy, I want to build my own huge floor standing, like 3-way, just like no money barrier, the best thing I could possibly make.
See, it's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that I found, at least with my setup, is that I find this question so hard to answer, and I think you do too. And the reason why we find it so hard is because these dream setups, it depends on what you're using it for, right? Like if you're doing a small Bluetooth speaker, my dream setup is a lot different than if I'm building a theater
100%.
room. Yeah,
absolutely.
I guess if I had to do like a dream setup, it would be something with a bunch of powered subwoofers, something that would have your whole room like shake and vibrate, maybe, but still have the clarity. Honestly, though, I think it changes for every speaker.
Absolutely, and you come from more of a home theater side, and I'm more of the music side, so that totally makes sense on our answers.
My wife. I'm just kidding. I was so nerdy. Sorry, hon, I love you.
Trying to get those points.
Oh, yeah. Love you much. No, she's actually not nerdy. No, you know what? Board gaming, love, especially, like, I don't know if you guys do, like, Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne, all those types of board games. Video games, love, simulators. I'm building a racing simulator, which will hopefully be on my channel sometime soon. And also a hopefully an actual arcade system for those of you who like old arcades. I love the old 80s arcade systems. I don't know if you have any of those things.
No, I actually don't like board games. I'm like,
okay.
Like the opposite. I've always tried to get into them, and I don't know.
They have to be strategy based. Yeah. Okay.
I guess my nerdiest. I'm really into Star Wars. I'm not really into Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I don't want to say I'm really into Star Wars because people will call me on it. I really like Star Wars, but I specifically really like Star Wars Legos. Like the best Christmas ever when I was a kid was getting a Star Wars Lego under the tree. So I still get Star Wars Legos, love putting them together, spend the time. My brother and I actually do it. Every year we usually get each other a Lego, and then like Christmas morning, we'll build them together.
Well, 1, 2, 3 Toy I could spend hours on, but I won't. I'll spare you the time. Toy became really a nickname for me, and it was really easy how I got it. I was looking for a screen name on Steam. I couldn't think of one. And I had an Altoids can there, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's Toy.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes I use the screen name Altoid, as in two separate names. But yeah, nice. But 1, 2, 3. But for the channel, so the nickname Toid came, and of course I made that for YouTube. And 1, 2, 3 is supposed to be, you're supposed to be as easy as 1, 2, 3, or at least that's my hope, is that I can explain something so that it can make it as easy as 1, 2, 3 for you to follow. And now you know my nickname, and you also know how creative I am not.
Mine's also not that creative. I was a big fan of Boy Meets World growing up. It's like my favorite show, and I don't even know what I was, because I came up with the name like 2 years ago, and I haven't been watching Boy Meets World for like that long. It's just. It must have been on TV or something. I don't know. I don't even know how it sprung in my head, but it's a playoff. Boy Meets World. KirbyMeetsAudio.
Sure, yeah. A closet Boy Meets World watcher still.
Yeah, right. All the DVDs.
Do you?
No.
I don't believe you now. One of the favorite speakers I've ever seen was a guy who made it completely out of plexiglass. It was really neat that he made it that way because he actually put the crossover in the back too, and it was a passive crossover, so you could see it. And it was very neatly organized. And it's just impressive to see all the insides. I think a lot of people don't realize all the internals that go into, speaker building, like Absolutely. The crossover stuff and everything. They just think that it's 2 speakers in a box and that's it. Right. So to see all of that is really cool. And then, of course, seeing the driver move back and forth when it's playing, that's just I love the idea.
I think some of the coolest speakers are made from materials that are different. And I think one really cool material that's really like versatile and interesting and kind of industrial is concrete. So I think any like concrete speakers are pretty cool. This might be my favorite.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, I think that's cool too. I think that's where DIY separates itself, right? Like, because you can make it out of concrete, you can make it out of a plastic case you found on the ground, ammo can, all those things that you just couldn't do with you're just not gonna buy that in the store.
Right. It's like experimentation.
Yeah,
You're
completely
trying
unique. Yeah. Each one of my speaker builds, I like a little bit about each one because I think that there's just a uniqueness about each one, and I can really use my creativity in a different way. But one of my more favorite ones recently was called the Vroom Vroom Boom. That someone else gave it that name, but it was a boom box that looked like the rear end of a car, had LEDs, port tune. The actual exhaust was port tune.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That I take it back. That was my favorite. That's my favorite speaker. That's my favorite. My favorite part is the port tunes. I think that's just so smart.
You like that? Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that. It took me a while to design that. It was a lot of work.
I'm sure.
Yeah. It was cool too because the spoiler was actually a handle, so you could actually hold it up. It was portable, Bluetooth. Used all Dayton and Peerless drivers, all the parts I got from Parts Express. It was really neat.
One of my favorites is actually one of my least popular videos. The Firefly jar speakers.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that because I like. I've only done it a few times, but I like using materials that people can obtain that don't have like a big wood shop or workshop or don't have skills in making the actual cabinets. I like frosted the inside of the glass and put LEDs in it. I just think that look is really cool.
I actually really like that one a lot. That was one of my favorites when I went to your site when you can buy like your kits and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's so simple, and anyone can do it, right?
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. And I want to put a priority on that, on expanding the ability of people to make DIY audio.
Yeah, there's something good about that, right? Like a feeling like of accomplishment when you finish
Absolutely,
that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not just for like, audiophiles and like people who want, to make a budget speaker. It's for, just like having fun and making a craft.
Absolutely.
Being crafty.
There's quite a few people I'd like to meet. The first is Kirby. So I've already had that. Yeah. Well,
nice to meet you.
Yeah. Now that I've met, not kidding. No, the next person, actually, Jeff Bagby would be one. I love what he's done with his giving out free crossover design software. I mean, he's just been instrumental in speaker designing and DIY kits. Paul Carmody, he's created quite a few kits. I love seeing what he's done. And I'm going to say the name wrong, so all you guys, I apologize ahead of time. I always pronounce things wrong. You should know that about me by now for anyone that sees my videos. Anyway, but Joseph DiPatoli, who designed the original MTM, I mean, I would just love to be able to pick his brain and talk to him. And I mean, he's behind like authors of almost all the greatest books out there on speaker building, so I'd love to be able to talk to him.
And I'm going to go non-audio. Because this dude, I don't know. I think some people have seen his face, and this might be a little neat niche thing, but AVE on YouTube. I would love to meet that guy. He's hilarious. He's so knowledgeable. Have you ever watched his videos?
No.
He's like this big Canadian dude that's hilarious, and he just shows his hands taking apart like consumer electronics and just talking about how they suck, basically, and how they're good. Like, I don't know. He's hilarious. He's funny. You should go check out his channel, AVE. All right, biggest mistake I ever made. I tried to make an open baffle speaker without actually doing the research, and I had a point. The whole point was that mistakes are going to be made when you're learning something, and it's okay, and that But the point is to not let the fear of making mistakes hold you back. But I guess that's what I learned. Yeah, I answered the question.
Yeah, see, and that's the part that I think that people forget with this type of thing, DIY speakers. It should be about learning. And so you're always going to start at some spot, right? Exactly. I mean, I don't know how many thousands of mistakes I've made. Sorry, guys, I have made thousands of mistakes. It's true. And I'm going to say one that's not necessarily a particular mistake. It's a mistake that you can fix. I'm even going to do a video on it later so you guys can see it. But the number one mistake that I see that most people make is screwing in their drivers. And when you're screwing it in with a drill, if that drill slips, man, it goes right through that rubber surround. And people freak out because they're like, oh my gosh, I just ruined my $500 driver that I was building this DIY project with, or I'm going to have to reship. You can fix it. It's easy to fix with just stuff from automobile store. But the point is, guys, if you're going to get into this, expect mistakes, and mistakes are good, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You learn.
If you learn. Yeah, if you learn.
You learn the best lessons from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Hands down.
All right, here's the deal. Every time when I first heard this question, the first thing that went through my mind is Gordon Ramsay. And he says, you eat with your eyes, right?
Yeah.
He does, right? Like, the food has to look good and sound good. And so I think the perfect speaker would look good and sound good.
Absolutely.
However, if I had to pick one, which I guess they're forcing us to choose,
yeah.
Which is ridiculous. But if you forced me to choose one, I'd have to pick sound quality. I mean, why wouldn't I? Because you can be completely blind, and music or a speaker can completely move you. You don't have to be able to see it to be moved by that. So for me, it's sound quality. Absolutely.
I'm in the exact same boat. A big part of my channel is trying to show that you don't have to choose. So, exactly. You don't need the looks, but it's nice to have them.
Yeah.
And you can do so much cool stuff with speaker building. If you like to build things and you're creative in that way, choosing speaker designs, choosing DIY speaker design is a great way to express yourself. Because everyone loves music. Like, I'm sure you guys love music. Music is just like an amazing thing in our lives. And being able to build the thing to listen to music and express yourself not only through listening to the music, your genres, whatever you're picking, but the way the speakers look is a big part of that. But yeah, I would pick sound over aesthetics.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to though. Right?
But no.
Yeah, neither of us want to. Yeah, we're not.
and if you
we wouldn't be doing this if we.
That's true. Yeah. And any wives out there will appreciate the aesthetics. So.
Oh yeah, it's the WAF, right? The wife acceptance factor. Yeah. It has to look good.
My channel's famous for that.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
I've gotten in contact and collaborated with the Get Hands Dirty channel. She's amazing. She makes the coolest projects, especially recently. I feel like she's really upped her game and just put out the coolest videos. She definitely got, I definitely got way more out of that collaboration than she did. But it was fun. It was awesome. Yeah, collaborations are cool.
Yeah, I actually saw that video. That was a really good video. Nice. I've collaborated. Yeah, her video, yeah. But I remember that, and she completely mentioned you, and she had built, was it a Fawn speaker, I think, wasn't it?
No,
No, it was her own speaker. Yeah, it was.
She took computer speakers and built her own enclosures from them.
That's right, yeah. That was impressive what she did at the end. It looked really good.
It really did.
I've collaborated with a couple people. I've collaborated with Double Sum, with Jack Double Sum. I've helped him with some crossover design work. I also have collaborated with, well, I can't say I collaborated with, but me and Impulse Audio stay in contact with each other. He
awesome.
He probably doesn't need my collaboration. He's a very intelligent guy.
He knows way more than I do.
He's so smart. But we stay in contact with each other, and I really enjoy contacting these other people. And I think that's one of the things that you get with YouTube especially is that if you want to collaborate with someone, if you want to be able to contact us, we're available for comments and contact. No, we're not always available to help, but we try our hardest.
You can expect more videos from me. I've committed to 2 videos a week. Other than this week, because I'm in Ohio right now. But from this week forward, 2 videos a week. I'm going to start doing more product reviews. So stuff that I use to build my speakers, or stuff that I just use in general that has to do with audio and home theater. I want to give you guys my opinion on it. So I'm going to start doing that. But yeah, more videos.
It's interesting that you say that, because I'm also doing some product reviews of different things that either I have used or I haven't used before, and I would like to tell people if it's worth buying or not, because there is some stuff that just really isn't, I don't think, quality enough to really use a lot. Now, my videos also, I'm going to start doing a lot more cool builds. I usually give away the plans, so for those of you who want to get into speaker building and you're not ready to build something on your own yet, take a look at the channel. Maybe there's some speakers there that I've built, like the DIY Dayton soundbar or something like that. I'm getting ready to start building, hopefully, a really high fidelity bookshelf speaker. So if you guys are looking for a very high fidelity speaker without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, keep a lookout for that. I think you'll really enjoy that build.